and we will do the Pledge of Allegiance to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All right, can we take the roll, please?
Sure. Mayor Jacobs.
Here.
Chairperson Stabley.
Here.
Vice Chair Walker.
Here.
Secretary Walkonis.
Here.
Trustee Bazzi.
Mark him absent and excused.
Okay. Trustee Kalaf.
I think.
Trustee Hyder.
Here.
Trustee Baidoon. Trustee Barry.
Here.
Okay.
All right, we have a quorum.
All right. I don't believe we have any presentations tonight.
Approval of the agenda.
Oh, excuse me. Looking for approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We need to add that Dr. Hyder was at the July meeting.
Oh, yeah.
That was left out of the minutes. We got to add that to the minutes, if you guys want to put that in your
For the-
motion in your second.
For the July meeting. And we also want to add under action items B5 that we're going to take a vote on obtaining the liquor license for the chili cook-off.
Where was that going to be, Denise?
It's going to be under B5.
Okay, yep.
Okay. So as amended, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays?
Could I have the motion maker, please?
The motion maker was
Me.
Mark. And Lori
Support.
Walkonis is a support.
Thank you.
So that passes unanimous. And next, we have no presentations. Next item is the community events for the chili cook-off.
Yeah, just letting the general public know that October 14th is coming up pretty quick, and we have the chili cook-off right here in our downtown. We have been communicating through social media for volunteers that we need for various positions, and we also have a sign-up for that. It's an electronic sign-up, makes it very easy. It breaks down the volunteer positions by like times and locations and expectations of duties. I also want to add, just to clarify, volunteers that are participating in this event in the past have not been paid directly. They've been paid, there's a charity that they choose or is on the list that they choose that their hours of volunteer goes towards. So just to clarify that, make sure we're on the same page. Any questions on the event?
Where's the Sign Up Genius at? You said there was a Sign Up Genius?
Yes, there is. It's posted through our downtown Garden City social
Okay.
media page. And
All right.
also, I believe the City of Garden City media page is also sharing that as well.
Okay, let me just make a note here.
And are we
Should the board
sorry.
vote on doing the charity thing just to make it so that we're all on
If they
the
so
same page?
choose.
For the
Yeah.
charity?
Right.
You know, so if somebody volunteers 2 hours of their time, they'll get $20 to donate to whatever charity. Do we want to approve that? Since I don't
Based
think
on,
it's...
how many volunteers do we typically look for?
30 to 40, maybe
Okay.
50.
So we'd be giving away $500.
I think in the last one I saw was like $1,500, something like that, to a charity for hours.
For hours
Just
worked?
for hours.
Okay.
Is that if profit is made, or is that just,
That was just for them, as I understand it, that's just for them to come and volunteer and work whatever they're doing, whether it's cleanup, setup, whatever they're doing, if they're there for,
no matter if profit made or not?
correct.
According to last year's chili cook-off is about approximately $1,200 worth of volunteer hours that were donated. So a couple of things, I guess, if you want to vote on that. One was the dollar amount was a $10 an hour volunteer per hour status, and then whether or not it's any charity or a list of charities that was determined by this board. Because, you know, you get 30 or 40 people, you could be doing $10 here, $5 there, and, you know, $100 here. Just a thought there.
I think we should keep the money in Garden City.
I would agree to that.
Food pantries in Garden City, you know, our Garden City charities.
Sure.
Project Grad, those types of
Yeah.
things that,
Donate it to the Sandland Parade, whatever. But keep the money in Garden City.
In the past, the Goodfellows have been a charity, the Kiwanis, the Project Grad, Autistic School Association was another one, Straight Farmhouse was also another one, and that's all I see on the list
That
currently.
or Autos for Autism?
It was specifically an Autistic School Association based out of Plymouth. The address was listed as Plymouth.
but the majority of those are actually the organizations for people that are volunteering and giving those dollars back to the organization that they're working for, I think, primarily.
Correct.
And some of that cost might have been because those volunteers continued to work the afterburn as well. And I don't know if the DDA was absorbing that part of it, but these are really going to be seen, I think, as two separate events.
Sure.
So, you know, we might need to clarify that it's, you know, the DDA would be doing the portion for the cook-off and not the
Right.
afterburn.
Yeah, I'm just going
So
off
that could-
what's done in the past.
Yeah.
We can set whatever we want moving forward, you know? Just the information I have from what we've done, what's been done in the past, I should say.
Yeah, I think we should come up with a list of charities that we think are acceptable
Sure.
and that they can pick from that list. And we could maybe,
Should we
Take a vote on
put
that?
anything in there as, it should be a 501c3 that we're, you know, whatever organization?
yeah, we should confirm that they are, you know, 501c3 organizations. I mean, the charities,
Okay.
yep. So I think we could do that. And I think the $10 level is fine. I don't know that we really have to increase that. Does anybody have any input as to whether or not we should increase it, or?
I think $10 is fine. You know, because you typically, I would say if we're making money, we can make additional contributions to different charities if we make money. But obviously, if we lose money, I don't think we go into our DDA funds to donate more money. I don't think we're allowed to.
No. Can I say something?
Yes.
I'm just picking numbers. If it costs $10,000 to put the chili cook-off on the event, and you bring in 12,000, then you got a 2,000 profit. That 2,000 you can give to charities.
Right.
But if it costs $10,000 for the event, and you only bring in 9,000, you lost 1,000. If you start writing checks to charities, you're writing them out of the DDA tax fund account, and that's what you can't do.
Right.
So you got to make a profit, and the profit you can give to charities.
I'm fine with.
Make sense? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
But you just said that you don't have to make a profit to donate to the volunteers charity.
Well,
Right,
that
that's
would
part of the
probably,
expense.
I would think,
That's part of your expense.
That's part of it.
That's part of putting on the event.
Got it, okay. So that's an expense.
John, did-
Got it.
excuse me, did we come up with, like, is there a budget dollar amount that we have for putting on this event, or is it a bucket for all the events that we're doing?
I want to say in the budget, there is a set amount, but it's higher than what I think we've ever spent. So I think they budget like $45,000, $43,000 for this event.
For this event alone?
Yes. I believe I saw that in one of the financials somewhere. But that doesn't mean we have to spend it or that we use it all.
Line item 963.000 is publicity and promotions. This would fall for the majority under that line item for the budget, and that budget is sitting at 55,000 total. So, yes, that's right, but that also would cover any other promotional type things that we did throughout the entire budget year.
Okay. So do we expect to try to recover what we put out for the event? I mean, is that like a general goal?
I would assume yes.
Okay.
You know, this is, the DDA is built to put on events that bring people to the downtown as part of our job. But in my opinion, I don't think it's, you know, coming from a business background, it doesn't make sense to spend 10 and make 5, you know? You're losing money. If we can get that to 0, I think that's acceptable.
Right, it should be a net zero
Right.
event for us.
Right.
We're not out to make money, so anything
Right.
over and above our expenses can be donated to charity.
And another example would be the Lucky Squirrel. It's a three event setup. So you can look at the P&L that you have in your packet, but rough numbers, they brought in like 10,000, and we had expenses and everything, but we're still like 4,000 in the black. So that's okay, and we still also donated to the Straight Farmhouse from that. See what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's really up to the board, but personally, I don't think, you know, events should be losing money.
No, I know when I was on the Parks and Rec board, when they did events or stuff at the rink or before Radcliffe Center, it wasn't that we wanted to make money. We were trying to at least break even, because it's a quality of life issue that that's what we used to say. We're putting on an event, kids are getting all kinds of use out of the arena or whatever program that we were doing. So if we broke even, we were good. You know, if we lost a little bit of money, good, you know. But we never tried to go way in the red. Or if we did one year, we tried to fix it going forward. So we learned from our mistakes as far as we don't want to do it again, you know, repeat. So, yeah, if we broke even, you know, up or down a little bit, I think that's more than reasonable.
Well, historically, this event has shown that we've went into a deficit on it. I think, you know, unless you have a different opinion, we want to get to the even point at least, and do it properly. I'm not commenting on what's happened in the past, really just moving forward, like what can we do to adjust this? And that's, there's more, I think there's more discussion today about that. After we review some information that I brought, that I was asked to bring, so.
Okay. All right. So with that, I think we can move on from the cook-off, and we'll move on to public comments for agenda items only, if anybody has anything to say.
Very calming, I like it. I don't feel any hostility, I like it.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Sure. Okay, so no public comments. We will move on to the next item, which is the consent agenda. I need a motion for approval of the consent agenda as amended. I'm looking for a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
I thought he did, so I wasn't sure.
Motion by Lori.
Support.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion passes unanimous. Moving on to item B for action items. We first have the English Gardens Christmas tree contract.
So if you've been through Fort and Middle Belt, you know that this Christmas tree gets set up every year, and it's, I don't know, 30, 35 foot tall. You know, it's a beautiful beautiful setup for the downtown. English Gardens is the landscape company based out of Pontiac, but they have multiple locations. They have historically been the ones that A, set it up, B, store the Christmas tree, C, take it down, and D, do any maintenance on it. If, for example, it's put up in pieces, if there's a panel that has lights out or need fixed, they do that. There's 2 quotes listed in this packet. The one quote is listed for set up the client's 30-foot Christmas tree. Sorry, it's 22-foot. And that includes setting it up and making sure it's working. Total price on that, a little over $53. And then taking it down and storing it, on the backside, they charge an additional $13 and some change.
Okay.
Just a couple of quick thoughts. One, it makes us hands-off, so we don't have to do anything about make sure that it's, you know, handled or voted on, rather. And then, 2, if we weren't to do this, what would the options be? So, this has been, I would say, par for the course in the past few years, but if there's any, you know, differences or questions or comments, we can go from there.
I think I said last time, I think the price has increased here, because I had, last year's expense was like $4,087, I think. I don't know if that was, you know, one payment of 2, but it does look like that it's gone up. Are there any other alternatives maybe going forward? You know, do we know of any other firms that may do this in the area?
I mean, I can do research on it. I know we do own the tree.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm sure we could take over and store it and set it up, but that's a job. So,
Right.
Somebody's going to get paid to take it up and put it down no matter what, but
Sure.
you know, this is for you to either vote on or send me to do some more research and find other possible options.
Sure. So it's $5,357 to put the tree up, and then they want $1,343 to take it down and store it, correct?
Yes.
So we're looking at almost 7,000 total. Just under 7,000.
It doesn't say it, but I would assume that the $1,300 to take it down is probably what they charge to put it up also, which means it would probably be, doing simple math, about $4,000 a year for storage is what I would take out of this.
But it says
I know what it says, but I don't, I think that's probably,
I mean, we already own the tree. That seems like a lot of money. $7,000
For storage and setup?
for putting it up, taking it down, and storing it. I mean,
how much is like a U-Haul, not a U-Haul, but a storage
A storage?
facility?
I don't have a clue.
70, 80, 100 a month or something? So that'd be...
Because it seems like right now we're paying about $330, if it's $4,000.
Is there anywhere at DPW that it could be stored, or no?
What are the dimensions when it's broken down?
I don't know. That would have to be something we'd have to,
Research.
yeah.
We don't have to act on this today.
No, I don't think we
I
have to
would
act
say,
on it.
let's check, see if the DPS could store it. Let's also get a price on a storage facility. If a storage facility was $100 a month, that's $1,200 a year.
Right.
That beats this.
Right.
But the put up, you know, to set it up and take it down, if we'd still be paying about $2,700
What does a new tree cost? I mean...
More research.
I mean, in 2 years, you spent 14 grand.
Right.
If we do that, you know what I mean?
Maybe we could be like, you know,
Maybe the board will choose
DC
to
or-
table it. I can do some more research.
Yeah.
And, because, you know, it could probably be cheaper to store it, but also we gotta probably, you know, shell
It
out
just
some money to
seems like
put
a
it
lot
up,
of money
take it
for a
down.
tree that we already own.
Yeah.
You know what I
It
mean?
does, but how are we gonna find someone to put it up? I mean, where do those people come from?
But maybe we could still pay them to put it up and take it down. We'd save on the storage costs alone.
Right, that's what I was
mean,
gonna
that's a
say.
possibility.
Okay.
If we can cut some costs, you know, I guess. Do we have a deadline on getting them? Because for setting up, I mean, one of the other things that I wanted to talk about this week was the tree lighting. You know, we've typically had that, I think, on the Monday following the parade on Saturday.
That is correct.
And I think if we could maybe move that to the same day as the parade, I know it's a big football day for everyone, but if we set it up so that we do the tree lighting that same night and maybe get more participation from the community because it's following the parade and all that excitement, maybe we get more families involved to attend the tree lighting ceremony.
I don't know, that
You do
might be a
realize
busy
You
day
do realize
because
that's Michigan-Ohio State game day,
I
right?
do.
I know a lot
But-
of people
but
that
the
aren't going
game-
to leave their living room.
The game starts like at noon or
yeah,
something.
the game
I
starts
think.
at
So-
noon, but I mean, you're also going to have the kids that are, or whoever's in the parade, which is a lot of residents and that.
Correct.
So they would be done at noon and then watch the football game probably, and then come back at 6 o'clock-ish when it starts getting dark,
Okay.
the light again. That
Right.
might be a long day for some kids and parents.
Well,
Okay.
push it off an hour. I think maybe 7:30. I think everybody'd want to get it over with, don't you think? I don't want to do it on a Sunday. Kids go back to school on Monday, so you want them home in bed, so.
And there's not a lot of turnout on Monday because it is a work day, and sometimes it has to get rushed before a council meeting.
One more thing you're not thinking about, that's a long day for Santa Claus. He's got to come back for the tree lighting too.
Well, maybe
Go
we
put his
should,
feet up in the sleigh and watch the, watch the game.
If I can, if I can
anybody
make a
that likes to get
suggestion.
everything over with in
If
one
you wish
day.
to table this, I'll do some more research.
Okay.
Your other request is, you know, kind of autonomous from, you know,
Right.
this setup.
Right.
I'll also reach out to English Gardens because they do have our tree, so.
Right. But I'm curious about the time, like if we were to change, like what day do they typically set it up? You know, so that it's ready for the tree lighting? Do they do it on that weekend? Do they do it the week before? You know, and do we have a time frame that we have to
So we have a
commit?
meeting in October typically, you know, third week in November. If we make decisions and ready in October, I think we'll be fine.
Okay.
And still be able to get it set up. You know, I know it's set up for the parade, but not lit till the Monday after. So my assumption is it's that week of.
Okay.
Actually, it'd probably be right around Thanksgiving. That's Thanksgiving week,
I
so.
want to say it usually only takes them 2 days to
Right.
get everything set up and put up. I think the lights at Carter, you know, the downtown area lights take a lot longer than that Christmas
Right.
tree does.
So as long as we make a decision by October, we should be fine.
Okay. All right. So,
I'll make a motion to table that.
okay. Do we have support?
I support.
Dr. Hyder, support? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nay. That passes unanimously. Next action item is chili cook-off activity expenses.
If I may, in your
Please.
original packet, so, you know, this event takes a lot of effort, time, people, the whole deal. In the past, the event has just been basically spearheaded by the director, along with a bunch of volunteers in the committee. It was asked of me to bring forward some of the entertainment pieces, because there are dollars valued, or dollar amounts that are associated with it. So, first of all, the tents, in a situation is we use a lot of tents, and S&B Party Rentals is really the only place locally that A, has all the tents we need, and B, has that weekend open. They have us on reserve right now. You can see the invoice listed. So, you know, you have the beer tent, and then the whole chili cook-off area has tents, and then there's some ancillary tents around. for different things that are associated with the event itself. So that total dollar amount's $5,913, and that includes delivery, setup, take down, take home.
Okay.
Okay? I don't know if you guys are interested in making like action items out of all these individually, or if you want to accept the certain ones that are in here. I'll keep moving down the list.
Yeah, because I don't know that we've really gone through these expenses before, and if
Sure.
someone
There's
think something's
there's
too
two
high.
quotes in there that look from the same invoice. The reason that they're set up like that is because there's two different artists, and this is to do the face painting. This is a children's event or activity. Noon to 4 is the setup, or the action time. Setup is 11. Each of those face painters was at a rate of $425 for the entire day.
Did we have any other options on those? Because I think we talked about this before, and that seems a little bit high for, face painting.
Yeah, I'm sure
I
we
mean,
can
wasn't it
come
like
up with more options.
wasn't it $1,200 or something we paid like in '21 for face painting? And,
I don't think it's exceeded $850, but...
oh, okay. All right.
Next on the list is the Jump and Jan rentals. This is a quote for 5 hours of a bouncer and 5 hours of a train. So in the past, I can't remember specifically which one, but one of the Santu brothers used his tractor and a wagon to transport people from this event down to the PD and the FD for their open houses. We do that typically have done that down Central Avenue. So I talked with them, and the wagon is in need of repair, so it's not available. Last year, this train was used. Basically, it's a train, it's like a mini train. It holds like 12 to 15 or 12 to 20, depending on if you're an adult or a child. And then the same company can also supply a bouncer. And there's another one on here. In the past, we had a, what was it called? Zip line, some type of zip line we had. This same company, Time to Play Party Rentals, instead of doing a zip line, they offered up a rock wall. It's got a couple of what they call monkey motion. Basically, there's like two bouncers that you strap into, and you can kind of on the side of the rock wall. So you have the rock wall option, and then you have these two bouncers.
Okay.
So they bring operators to go with that, and that's listed at $3,260. And then Allen Entertainment is also in that same boat. As far as a rock wall, they have a 25-foot portable rock wall with these dual extreme air jumpers. It's the same as the other company listed, and their price is $2,260. And we have used these guys in the past.
The Allen Entertainment?
Correct.
Okay. Not the Time to Play? We haven't used them before.
Say that again.
The Time to Play?
We have not.
Okay.
So these are
I mean, that's $1,000 difference for the same
sure.
stuff.
Yeah, well, you guys wanted options to vote, so I
Yep.
tried to get you options.
Nope, that's good.
And the biggest deal is, if you don't capture these things, they sell out, they're not available.
Okay.
And a lot of places that I reached out to, I got responses, we're not available, we're not available.
Okay.
So, I really like to move forward on booking some of this stuff if you so choose. So I think the big picture of the element is you have the chili cook-off, and that's kind of an adult situation, right? Of course, kids can eat chili too, but I think it attracts more of the adults. The beer tent, the band, that's going to attract more adults. So some of these items are more like kid-oriented, child-oriented, so there's something for them to do and participate in. And then also, I think it's kind of great we coordinate with the FD and the PD to try to move people back and forth between these events. So, again, this all depends on income too. We're putting
Right.
a little bit of money here.
Are you doing anything for, I think previously they had a petting zoo?
Yeah, they're really, really expensive.
Okay.
That was number one.
Yeah.
Number 2 was because of the status of the property, which everybody knows is the mini golf. At the time when all this planning was happening, it was under contract to be sold. So we couldn't, I talked to those owners, and we really weren't confident about making a decision to use their space that they offer for events like that, because we didn't know what was going to happen with the property. So we played it safe.
Well,
So that's kind of the deal there.
that one was almost cost prohibitive, right, for the petting zoo?
Yeah, I would agree with that statement.
Okay.
How much was it? Do you
I think it
know?
was 4,200, 3,200.
Was it?
It was north of 3,000 just for the petting zoo, so,
Too bad, because I know the kids love that.
yeah,
I don't, but
yeah.
Okay.
To the chair.
Yes.
On the agenda, you got chili cook-off October 14th. On this quote with face painting, they said the date of the event is October 8th.
Yeah, that was sent to me as a quote. I talked to that lady and she said I didn't change the date. That was just, yeah, that,
Because if you think you got them on the 14th and she shows up on the 8th, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, well, it's the old, yeah,
All right.
that was like date issued of 2022. Yeah,
Okay.
okay,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Well, and these are all of the things that we have that we can use for activities for the littles, right?
basically, yes.
Okay.
And, you know, I try to find people local. We did have a local new business starting up, so we let them come to the Lucky Squirrel with their bouncer. It was pretty, you know, it was good, it was free. You know, they're trying to get their name out and they're local to the area. You know, the reason that this one was in here with the bouncer was because it had the train involved too with that transportation. I mean, we don't have to do transportation over the PD and FD, but
It's good.
people, I think, at some point, some people expect it.
Oh, yeah.
And not necessarily
That's a
that we
little bit of
have to
a-
do it, but
It's a little bit of a haul to get over to those.
Sure.
You know, and I think, I mean, because I've always volunteered at the PD open house, and, you know, when that thing wasn't running like it had in the past, it really affects the amount of traffic that gets back there for both of them. And I think it's a great thing for the kids to be able to experience. So I think having that train is a necessity if we don't have the tractor.
the
So-
kids like it too.
They do, yeah. So the other question is, you know, with the putt-putt, I think in years past, there's been, you know, that they've gone over to do putt-putt. Was it for free or a small fee that we covered?
in the
them?
past, just for historical understanding, there's been a sponsor that donates money and it offsets the cost of free mini golf for kids.
Okay,
So that dollar amount was $300. It was supplied by West Finkel Bankery. And then basically that money was sponsored and then that money moved over to the mini golf to
Okay.
cover that. And then those kids could go golf for free. I just talked to the owners of the mini golf. They're willing to be part of the event.
okay,
And West Finkel has donated $300 this year, and I told her I couldn't guarantee it was going to go for mini golf at the time, but if you so wish, we can coordinate that with them, so there's
Absolutely.
another activity.
yeah. I think we should. I don't know about the rest of the board.
How much does Putt-Putt want?
He said $300
They want-
to
oh.
cover,
This is a flat $300
Yeah.
donation to the mini golf, and then they open that up for children to be able
But
to.
that's how much, they still only want 300. You said that's what it was in the past. It's still 300.
That's correct.
And the bakery's going to donate it.
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, good. That's,
to be the sponsor.
who watches the kids while they're over there? Parents have to walk over there and watch your kids?
I would.
I would too. I just, you know, it just kind of sounded like, oh, they go over there and mini golf. I thought, oh, I'm watching those kids.
Yeah. Okay,
Chair.
Volunteer over there.
yes.
So, do you want us to vote and approve these 4 today to help you move forward for the chili cook-off?
Yeah, that'd be great.
The rentals, I've rented so many.
And we have money in the DDA account?
Yeah, under that line item, publicity and promotions, we do, yes.
Okay.
Well, I think we'll exclude the
we're not-
time to play. That,
I
we'll
took
scratch
them out.
that one.
I have rented from them, just to let you know.
Okay.
And I was happy, in case
Okay.
it ever comes up again.
Yeah.
Like,
But he says we've used this before and we're saving $1,000.
no,
by
I
using
know,
them.
I would do
So,
that too.
Okay.
We want to do these all together?
Did you say we've
Yes.
used them before? When did we use them? Is that on here? Is there a
Use we
date?
And use what?
Allen
The Allen
Entertainment.
Entertainment for the chili
This was the
cook-off.
place that supplied the zip line last year.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
If we'll do them all together, I'll make the motion
Yes.
if you want me to.
Can I ask
Yes.
you about the tent rental too? Are we going to include
Yeah,
that? or-
I got that
Yes.
on here.
Oh, you do?
That's
Yeah,
the
I think-
5,900.
Yep.
Okay.
All of those items discussed for entertainment and for
Okay.
the tents. So if we have a,
Face painting, rental.
Yeah,
Okay, so we're gonna approve,
I'll make the motion on all 4 of these. I'll go through them if you want me to.
yeah, mention them.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve for the chili cook-off, Allen Entertainment for $2,260 for a 25-foot rock wall and a staff of 4. And then $2,100 for Jump and Jam Rentals and bouncer and in the train ride for 5 hours, $2,100 total on that one. And then AFX Studios for face painting from noon to 4 for $425. And then S&B Party Rentals, this is for all the tents, the 60 by 120 pole tent, 8-foot banquet table, folding chairs, staging for the band, 4 foot by 8 foot, globe lighting, cocktail tables, labor, 15 by 30 tent, 15 by 45 tent, 20 by 40 tent, and a 20 by 20 frame tent, solid white walls, side walls, for a total of $5,913.
Okay.
All of these will be for the chili cook-off.
excuse me, can we back up? Because on AFX, we actually have 2 artists, so it's $425 each.
Okay, so
So-
then we want to do both of them?
Correct.
I thought, okay.
It's on both
And then
sides.
another 425
Correct.
from AFX
It's on
for
the
the
back.
other face painting artist.
It's a different-
So that would make 850 total for AFX for face painting.
Okay.
Okay, so we have, they're out.
So we have a motion. Do we have support?
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay. Motion passes unanimous. Okay. And next, we're going to move on to the Community Showcase Banner Program.
All right, so I talked about this in the workshop last week. So
I do with mine.
there's an array of paperwork in your pamphlet giving you some options of what they can look like. Basically, here's the deal. We have lights that we use in the city down here, Ford and Middle Belt, for putting banners up. So you've probably seen them in the past. We've used them for the championship softball team. We use them for Santa Land. We use them in the fall. We use them for various things. This company offers banners free of charge, basically. It's not going to cost the DDA a dime. So item 1, a minimum of 25 full-color custom graphic vinyl banners for all the pools. Business sponsors are featured on the bottom 30% of the banner. Artwork, design, and size customizing to meet your community specifications. We don't need brackets and hardware and installation, or we don't need brackets and hardware because we are already outfitted with that, but they will install and do the maintenance. The quantity of banners is determined by a number of sponsor participants, but there's a minimum of 25. Duration of the sponsor participation will be 1 year with an option to renew each of the year following. Sponsorship for fulfillment, including all related aspects of marketing, production, and printing, is done by them. The City of Garden City or the downtown will assume no cost or liability for the sales and the production of the banners for this project. What they're asking of us is a letter of introduction to the businesses supporting this program, the right for the banner, community showcase banners to use organization's name in connection with appropriation. So example, I think there's probably a couple examples in here that say like Lincoln Park or something. They've done them in Lincoln Park locally. Identification of and access to the proper pools to do it. So I'm open to any questions that you may have.
What about if we want any change for like a holiday type or seasonal change to the banners? I mean, are these expected to stay up year-round?
The duration of the sponsor participation will be 1 year, so these are 1-year banners. So yeah, that
Because I
could-
think as a
that could limit-
community, it's nice to have like a seasonal change for because looking at those the entire year could be a little dull, boring. I mean, I like the idea of the, sponsors from the businesses, but I think a seasonal change would be kind of nice.
Yeah,
Does
and
anyone
we do
else
already
have-
own like Santaland parade banners, and I think we have fall banners. We have some banners that are not relevant anymore also.
I know at one
I
time
can ask
too,
that question.
I know at one time too, they were talking about doing veterans
Right?
and having them
Yeah.
pay some money for that.
Doing what, Mark? Say-
Veterans, putting up, say you
banners.
were a veteran and you wanted your,
A
your
picture?
picture up there with, when you served, maybe what
Oh,
war.
veteran.
Veteran, yeah,
Oh.
veteran.
Yeah.
What he said.
So, maybe your dad, you had an uncle, whatever, your
Yeah.
son,
I mean,
put
I
him
like-
up there with whatever, his name and
That's
when he served,
West Virginia, pass that.
something like that.
So, but
Like
right now,
this.
they're gonna give us 25 free,
That would
so
be-
that's nice. So
Right, but they have to stay up all year.
Yeah, it
I'm
would be
I'm
year
kind of
round.
with Denise.
Right, so I guess we want to cost down if we wanted to change them out then, right?
Well, it could be that, or, we have our own maintenance person that could probably change them out because he's done it in the past. But I don't know. if
Would that break
I don't know
contract,
if
though?
that break contract or not.
Yeah, I'd like a little more
So then that's the
information.
question, is does it
Fine.
break contract?
Because I do like the idea of having these poles with the ability to put up seasonal banners, or even, going to do the veterans during, like.
Memorial Day, Veterans Day,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, year-long seems too long. If you want to put up something for Christmas, you know what I mean?
That'd be nice to have something for Santaland Parade.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I get there's no cost to us, but
Or would it break?
I don't
How much
know
would,
that-
well, I guess my question would be, if we went to, say, Sinorama and asked them how much banners would be, and got a quote from them on it, that might be something we could budget for coming up that we could have.
And then still have the businesses contribute to that.
Yeah.
Us do that
Yeah.
rather than them.
Sure.
Since we're already removing and replacing.
Right, because we could have, DPW or Gary Carter, whoever we have, could put, it can't be that hard to put them up and take them down.
Do our poles have, are they set up to have banners on both sides of the pole?
That's correct.
Yes.
So, I mean, maybe we could do both, right? I mean, if we have one side that is left up with that, and then we have
That'd
the
be
other
a
side.
lot. I don't know. Driving around,
I don't know how that will work.
How many
Might
poles
be a
do
lot
we
of,
have that will hold
scenery.
the banners?
I don't know that number. I do know that if we chose to, we have the brackets and the setup for every single tall light pole that we have.
Okay. All right.
So this is what I have down. Do they have to be up for a 1-year solid, or can we change them or change them back? I'll check on pricing from a local print shop, such as Sinorama or others. And then, was there any other questions?
Does it break contract if we take it down, right?
Right. I don't personally think that any movement has to happen today. The thought was, if we got this going, it wouldn't start till the first of the year anyway, and we would put up our Salem banners and so on and so forth, and there has to be a time for them to be able to do their diligence and get sponsors anyway. So my assumption is they couldn't do it right away, so we have time to do some more investigation on this. It's no problem.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So the recommendation is to vote to table any action on this.
So, yeah,
Yes.
we're gonna table,
Do I have a motion to table?
motion to table.
Okay, do we have? Okay, support Dr. Hyder. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, that passes unanimously as well. Moving on, the next item is the contribution to the Straight Farmhouse from the Lucky Squirrel.
We hosted the third and final Lucky Squirrel event in September of 2023. The past two Lucky Squirrels have been volunteer managed by volunteers from the Straight Farmhouse. We've done a $1,000 donation for May. We've done a $1,000 donation for July. According to the P&L statement in there, there's still leftover monies from the event, so I'm requesting another $1,000 donation to the Straight Farmhouse from proceeds that we made at the Lucky Squirrel.
Okay, do we have a motion?
How much money did we make? Matt? Not sure.
The P&L on the Lucky Squirrel?
Because if we go,
That is,
As of September 19th, $4,463. That's after deductions. But
Okay,
if you approve 1,000 today, that'll drop by 1,000.
Right.
okay.
And everything's paid?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll make that motion.
I'll support it.
Okay, all those in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimous. Next item is the chili cook-off alcohol license. We do have to submit a certified resolution of the membership of the board to authorize the license. So I think with our discussion last week that, we have to separate the liquor license from the Goodfellows doing the afterburn and the DDA doing the chili cook-off during the day. So we're going to obtain that liquor license so that we can serve beer during that event. So I need, excuse me, to take a vote to obtain the liquor license for the chili cook-off on the 14th.
From 12, the liquor license would be from 12 to 4, right?
12 to 4, correct.
And then the Goodfellas, well, the event goes to 5, but usually they have the awards from 4 to 5. So if the Goodfellas, it's up to, we can do it till 5. It's up to the board.
Well, I don't see why we wouldn't run it right up until, all the awards are done, and that's considered 5 PM, right?
Then
I
say
mean, there's a
5,
lot of
yeah.
people.
Say
Yeah.
noon to 5 then would
Okay.
be the license.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
advertising our event from noon to 5. That's why I was like,
Okay,
maybe we should just go till 5.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So we need to take a vote on that. Do we have a motion to submit the license request for the alcohol, for the chili cook-off?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Okay, do we have support?
I'll support.
All right, all those in favor?
Hold on, can we discuss it a little bit more? Only because I know part of the law on that says that whoever has the license is solely responsible for the money. So we are strictly responsible, so I would recommend that it would probably be John and you that at 5 o'clock would have to go and collect all the money and check on how much beer was spent.
Right, to transition everything over to the
Right.
Goodfellows for the evening portion?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, I'm fine with that. Are you okay with that, John?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah, just so everybody understands, we're going to do a check and balance system where there's 2 people counting the funds that are coming in and doing drops, money drops, so to speak. But they'll be sealed. I talked to the treasurer for the city here. He's going to supply us with some seal bags.
Bank envelopes,
Yeah, like
the bags, bank
it
bags.
gets counted, it gets signed by 2 people, it gets stuffed in the envelope, and it gets sealed. Basically like an evidence bag, right? So, and then after the weekend's over, that money gets drawn. It's going to be double check counted with more than one person and then deposited.
But in the meantime, it's going to be held at the police department,
That
right?
is the
I mean, no
plan,
one is
yeah.
going to be
Yeah,
in
that's
possession
plan.
of,
Right.
you know, those funds.
Do they,
Yes.
do they accept funds electronically?
Say again?
Do they accept funds electronically, credit card, debit card?
Great question. So I had a sponsor, actually after our meeting last week, our workshop, somebody saw the meeting and they called me the next day, said, hey, I got this business, we want to sponsor. And I was like, awesome. He goes, we don't have checks, we're a big company, blah, blah, blah. Can you take a credit card? I worked it out with the Treasury Department here to be able to accept that credit card on a one-time deal. But then I followed up and said, hey, what does it look like for the DDA to be accept debit or credit cards for, you know, it gets rid of the cash, right? It gets rid of all that problem or that situation. So I'm working with Brian Marciniak on that. We're trying to be able to accept credit and or debit cards through a system at this event along with cash. And then I did actually get a phone call from a gentleman who runs ATM machines. He wants permission to put it at our event. It would cost us nothing, but, you know,
They get fees from,
yeah, fees and stuff like that.
People using it.
So currently, no, we don't accept credit cards, but we're hoping to buy this event so it could be easier for the customer.
okay. Would that be like equivalent to like a Square payment or,
Correct.
you know,
Yeah.
PayPal or something?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah, we're looking into all those options, actually, like Square and, you know, Zelle and all those platforms to see which one will work the best.
okay.
Maybe you might want to consider Cash App, creating one for the DDA. A lot of people
Yeah.
deal with it.
Cash App,
Yeah.
Venmo?
Venmo, all
anything?
those things.
Yeah.
We're looking, he's helping me research that so we can do that, you know.
Okay. That's good. All right, so,
I'm sorry, one more thing along with that. Basically, the alcohol is going to be ordered at once, and then we're going to monitor at the end of the chili cook-off event and take an inventory and then move that on. So we know what we used for the chili cook-off side, and then moving forward for the next event, they can know what they used.
right, because everything tapped has to be paid for.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. All right, and we talked a little bit about, you know, pricing for those items. Do we have a good idea on what we're doing with that, or we're just gonna,
I meant to call the beer distributor and talk to him about that today, and I
Okay.
completely did not.
okay.
So,
We could follow up with an email, maybe?
yeah, I can do that, no problem.
Okay, so we've got a motion, we've got support. Are we ready to take a vote? All those in favor for applying for the alcohol license for the chili cook-off, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay. Now, moving on, do we have any other business?
I have some.
Okay.
So it was asked of me to do some research on various things. So the addition to your packet that was from last week, you should have that in front of you now. It's a sheet that says miscellaneous. So basically what I did was I took the information that was given to me, I did the research on it, and then I'm coming back with these answers. In regard to the DDA attorney, the excerpt from the email that was sent to me was that there could have been a written opinion somewhere on the economic development director position and the monies that the DDA was possibly going to help fund that, so on and so forth. So I did talk with the attorney, and the research came back as such. The DDA attorney did not give a written statement. He did not give his written opinion on this subject. However, he did give a verbal one on our May 16th meeting. And in the comments here, I basically stated the video, where the video started for his comments. So if you want to look that up, you can. The long and the short of it is, the way you spend your money in the DDA, you have to spend your money consistent with the state act, which is Public Act 57. And within that paradigm, you got to do it within the plan that you have, your written plan. So the plan has to be consistent with the state law. He goes on to say, so when you're talking about this proposal, the proposal that the mayor had brought, you have to make sure that it's such as that every dollar spent by the DDA is being used for something that is consistent with the plan. So somebody mentioned using, this is the attorney talking, so somebody mentioned using this person to be a building inspector. I'm not saying you're doing that, but if you did, that would be a problem or could be. Then he goes on to say, I don't know how you monitor the difference between the money being spent from the DDA funds on DDA projects or plan versus what's being done in other areas of the proposal, such as overseeing the building department and so on and so forth. But he did say conceptually it's a great idea. Correction, he said it's a good idea. So that's the oral response. There was no written response.
Okay.
So just so you're aware of that, I stated the website there listed. Chili cook-off, an excerpt from the email said that I couldn't find the financials. If you turn to page 3 and 4 of the packet that I gave you, you'll see basically 2 printouts. One is fiscal year July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023, and that is fund designation 963.000, publicity and promotion. Everything highlighted on that page was identified as a chili cook-off expense, okay? I did my best to track down which expenses they were because they're vaguely recorded, which I'll come back to that in a minute. So for an example, the first one says entertainment for the chili cook-off, expense of $1,000. I tracked that back to being the band. The band was paid $1,000 last year, and then it goes on from there. So you can see all those designations, and some of them are such as dash plaques, awards for the cars, the car show portion. Some of them are volunteer hours that were donated back. So I stated the group that received the money, such as Kiwanis, they had 40.5 volunteer hours, so they got some money sent back to Kiwanis, and on it goes. And then some of the things on there are obviously things that you need. So they had 2-way radios, there was an expense for that, and then there was reimbursements and so on and so forth, the tent rental, whatever. So I tracked that to be $32,004.52 worth of expenses. That also includes donations that were given to 3 charities. One was the Autistic School Association, one was Goodfellows of Garden City, and the other was the Straight Farmhouse. Those 3 alone total $12,000. The info on the next page is the revenue or the deposit line item. It's 695.000. And there's 2 highlighted on there, which came to a total of $19,479.97 of income. And we track that back accordingly. I work with the ladies here at the Treasury, and that was done right after our event, which was held October 8th of 2022. These were for October 21st as a deposit date. So that would leave a deficit of $12,524.55. Now, I did have a challenge finding sponsorships as where they would be. I do have to do a little bit more research and go back another fiscal year to see if I can find some there. Which brings me to the next part. All of the deposits that anybody does for the DDA go into one account. It's called random transactions, or miscellaneous revenue, okay? So I've been keeping track of the differences between the chili cook-off and the Lucky Squirrel anytime I've done deposits. And I've shown those to you over the last 2-3 months, whatever. What I asked of the Department for Accounting was, is there a way for us to identify specifically, like, I brought $800, it was Lucky Squirrel, and have it shown up on the line item. So I'm waiting for that response, but moving forward, that will be the new plan. So for example, if I have $1,000 I have to deposit it. 800's for the Lucky Squirrel, I'll do a transaction for that. And then 200 is for the chili cook-off, I'll do a separate one for that, just so it shows as a line item, right? So that way it'd be way easier to track, and I think it's good, right? So everything that's in that blue box and from the down is broke down on a deposit ledger, which I supplied on the next page, and I did it by fiscal year. So those are all the transactions that happened since I've been in this position. So the fiscal year 2022-23, starting in January of this year, you can see the total amounts with the dates that they were deposited, and then I put the split appropriation basically because some of it was Lucky Squirrel, and then we had some other incomes, okay? And then fiscal year 2022, or correction, 2023 to 2024 started. So you can see the difference between the total amount that was deposited and the difference between Lucky Squirrel income and then chili cook-off income. Make sense so far?
Yep.
So what we learned here is I'm working with the accounting department to make sure we have more stringent on what the line items are going to be, so they show up proper for anybody's review. And then also that this chili cook-off has still been working at a deficit. And we talked earlier about how we're going to, curb that and make that better.
I do have a question, because obviously we just saw this, but
Yeah,
we do have the petting zoo on here, $1,500.
it's on there twice.
Just two line items.
Yeah, if you look,
The
and
petting,
I think it's a deposit, and then the final
here-
Oh, it's
payment.
up top, yeah, I see one up top here.
there's
now.
one
Yeah.
here for 1,500.
So there was,
And then there's one up here for 2,200.
2,200,
3,700 total.
37, okay.
Yeah,
yeah, I thought it was right around there, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's deposit, or, yes, reserve deposit, and
Sure.
then final payment.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Any other questions I can answer on that
No, I
right
think,
now?
I think
Bigger
getting
print?
more detail will be
Say
good.
again?
Bigger print?
Yeah, I know.
Bigger print?
I
That's
thought
what the
about that,
readers
too.
are for.
Bring my reading glasses out.
Okay.
Okay, so that handles that.
Okay.
The next item on that miscellaneous sheet is contracts and agreements. So I was asked at the last, I think it was at the workshop, about certain contracts or agreements. The DDA attorney for the DDA, we are using the firm Pentiak, Covier, and Kobilicek, PC. They're located in Wyandotte. As the email states that's attached to this, there is no written agreement or contract with this firm, as they would be charging us a monthly fee for this service. Rather, they are used as a, quote, as needed basis only. So unless we are actively using them, they do not bill us. They only bill us when they use us. So there's no contract or agreement, as I was asked about.
Did they bill you for that email?
I don't know yet. We'll see. Next is the maintenance contract. The contract that we currently have with Carter Maintenance is intact until April of 2024, at which time the board and the contractor have the opportunity to make changes or continue or go to rebid. I do have a copy of the contract here if you so want to see it. I didn't think it was necessary to make a whole bunch of copies and send it to everybody, but if you want to see it, you're welcome to it. And then our lease is with Mazzoni Office Center. It has been a month-to-month lease since the end of the current lease. I talked this over with Orrin Mazzoni. He said, I'm sure once the property is sold, the new owners will require a new lease. No, I have no more information on if it's selling or not. That's just what he said. And I have a copy of the lease right here if you wish to see that. The last one was dated 2010. We've been working off a month-to-month contract since then, with no increase in rent.
Okay.
And I think that was all of the line items that were asked of me. Any questions?
No, nope. That was all my questions.
Okay, All right. With that, does anyone else have any other business? I do have here the proposal. I think we've all seen it before, but this is a little bit more. There is like a draft proposal if we move forward. You know, this is basically just for discussion again. You know, if you can pass that down, please. There's 2 items. Get this to you.
Oh, they're 2 go
Yeah,
together?
they're each 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I
There's 2
apologize.
handouts because
sorry.
it's the
I would've got it
proposal
blocked.
that we've all seen, and then there's, you know, like the draft of, you know, the position, right? So, it's just something for discussion, I think, if anybody wants to talk about it now, or if we just want to wait until our next meeting to really have some in-depth conversation about it.
I believe the colored one would be the proposal that would go out to, I guess, actually, anyone
It would be the published
publish.
job description
Job description.
for, okay, yeah. So it gives us an opportunity to review it and, you know, see what we think about that proposal in more depth, okay? Does anyone from the table have any comments now?
I think we need to look at it, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So review it for the next meeting, please, so that we can have, you know, in-depth discussion on that. And then we'll move on to public comments for general items not on the agenda. If anyone has anything they would like to say. No comments from the public. Director's report.
Yeah, this Saturday at 3:30, if I'm not mistaken, is a ribbon cutting for the Michigan Academy of Gymnastics. It's in the former Playmania, also the former Napa building, right on Middlebelt. The address is 5659. If you're available and like to attend, that would be great. And also that's open to the general public. They are currently running classes there and recruiting, so.
So the GCBA, I think their post said it went from 3 to 5, but the ribbon cutting is at 3:30, right?
I understand that to
Okay.
be true, yes.
Okay, good.
3:30 for ribbon cutting?
Mm-hmm.
Saturday. What's the date Saturday?
30th. Anything else?
Some of this information is outdated. The mini golf, as we talked about earlier, is still a mini golf, and as far as we know, moving forward, it's staying a mini golf for now.
Okay.
The contract or the offer has fallen through or has not being pursued, as I understand it.
Okay.
28484 is a empty slot, empty space on the north side of Ford Road, just to the west of Harrison, right next to the KFC. There's Planning Commission was entertaining plans and drawings and schematics for a Dunkin' Donuts, as well as a leasable space. So it'd be a 2-tenant building with a drive-through for the Dunkin' Donuts. And the Nova Cafe was listed for ribbon cutting, but that is since going to be rescheduled.
That is, I was going to say that under mine, but
Yeah.
it is October 8th at 1 o'clock.
October 8th.
It's a Sunday.
Can you tell me what about the next meeting? Changing the date?
So that's at 1 o'clock. And
Okay.
Nova Cafe is where the old Planet Smoothie was.
Okay.
And the last thing is the chili cook-off.
Planet
We already
Smoothie?
spoke about it.
On Ford Road?
Yeah. I think it was, right? Planet Smoothie?
That's correct.
I thought it was still Planet Smoothie.
No,
No. It's
not.
they've been gone a little while now.
Okay.
Come on,
No,
Lori.
there's a smoothie place right there. It's the health shop. What is that? What am I thinking of?
Not there anymore.
No, it's gone.
That's what it was. It was a Planet Smoothie. It's not there anymore.
Yeah, big
Time's
senses.
going by really fast because I swear I was just there like 2 weeks ago.
Moving on.
Social media for downtown Garden City and also the city of Garden City have a sign-up genius set up to accept volunteers for our chili cook-off. We're in need of volunteers. We're also still looking for sponsorships. If you are an individual or a business that would like to sponsor, we have them from $100 all the way up to $1,000, or if you're feeling really generous, maybe more. But we're still looking for those two things, as I stated earlier, and that's all I have.
Okay. So we'll move on to comments from the table. Dr. Hyder, do you have
I'm
anything?
okay. Take it.
Trustee Walker, you're good? Walkonis, do you have anything?
What was the name of the place that was going? October 8th.
The name of the
October
place?
8th.
Oh,
What's the name of the place?
October 8th is Nova Cafe,
Nova Cafe.
coffee shop.
1 o'clock.
Coffee shop.
Remind me,
By Play-Dohs.
yes, no,
No,
the old
That's
Planet
why.
Smoothie. Planet Smoothie right here at,
Ford Road Barbers.
yeah, by the barber, by Jody's. That's,
Oh, that's why I was confused. Okay.
oh, we did the nutrition one a
Few
couple
weeks
weeks
ago.
I
ago.
was like, they're in and they're out. That was fast. I was
Okay.
just there.
Trustee Barry, do you have anything for discussion tonight?
Oh, I crossed that out.
Mayor Jacobs?
No, just, John, I'll get you the scissors and
Jody's.
ribbon
Okay.
for the gymnastics.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I have several items that I would like to discuss. First, I'd like to request that we move next month's meeting from the 17th to the 10th, because we have some people that have conflict with the 17th. So if we could do that, that would be appreciated. So if anybody can let us know.
Is that a vote?
Oh,
Does council vote on calendar changes like that? I think we would follow the same way.
We vote at the end of the year for the whole next year.
Yeah, for the whole year, but if we move one,
I don't know.
I don't know that we've ever moved one. We can vote on it, I mean.
yeah, let's
It's
go
going to have to
ahead.
be posted,
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
so the public knows.
Right.
So I have a request to move the next meeting date from October 17th to the 10th. Do we have a motion?
I second that.
You're making the
You're
motion?
making the motion?
Yes.
Okay, do I have support?
I'll
What
second
day?
it.
The 10th of October.
Okay. See, I had an appointment. I see what day it was.
Okay.
Okay.
So support from Mayor Jacobs? Yeah, same time. Yeah. Okay, so all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, passes unanimously. Next, I have, I already mentioned this to you, John. I would like for our director to put together a list of contact information for the entire board so that we have cell phone, email, all of that, and we can all communicate with one another if necessary. And so he was going to put that together and distribute. The other item I asked for was a comprehensive list of all the addresses in the DDA district, and whether or not they're vacant or occupied, if they're for sale or lease. You know, I think as a board, we can, you know, look at that, your business owners, developers, if we see that list, maybe you have someone that might have interest in something, you know, along those lines. So I'd like to see the board be able to review that list periodically. And, you know, and then we know what businesses, you know, we have. I don't know all the businesses that are, you know, in the area, so I'd like to see that. Next, I had just, you know, little brainstorming idea, like with the DDA page, if we start, you know, maybe with a list like that, maybe we could start promoting our small businesses in the downtown area on the DDA page. Maybe work with some of the business owners, and if we promote it for an entire week, if they would be willing to do something like, if it's a service industry, maybe like Dr. Hyder, you could give 10% off if they mention that they, made an appointment based off of the DDA post, or, if they sell something, maybe Tony would be willing to give a discount if you mention that you saw it, because we want to drive traffic, into the businesses, and maybe then we could find a way to kind of track that with them to see if it's improved the traffic in those places at all. I mean, it's just kind of partnering with them to try to drive things in and promote them, but we might have to give people an incentive to, walk in the door. So just something I've been thinking about, if we could do something along those lines.
I have a comment on that. So, because recently I was on the city page looking for something, and I struggled navigating, so of course I had to call to get help. Can't we just link it so that if you're on the city page too, and you're looking for that, if we're gonna list it all in the DDA, when you click there, that link would take you right to the DDA, so that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, we do have a DDA page there, but I don't think
Is
there's.
everybody looking for that though?
No,
Couldn't
but I
there
think.
just be a link
I think
that would take you
Facebook
there?
is, something that more people are seeing, with the events and, things of that nature. So if they're going to see it on the Facebook page, if you're looking to promote, you want to maybe say, well, if you offer a discount on something, then, stop in that business, mention you saw it on the DDA page, and, you'll receive a discount, or you'll receive an item or something, right? I mean, it's just to try to drive traffic to the businesses
I
from
understand
the
all
social
that. I'm
media.
just saying that all these different avenues, everything should come from the city's website. I don't care if it takes you to Facebook for the DDA page or wherever it takes you, everything should be on the city website. I mean, it's really crazy to have to try to, you know what I'm saying? That's
Trust me,
crazy.
I have a hard enough time, I know.
It really is.
It would be something to look at. I would, just off the cuff, I would say possibly the only issue is the DDA is right now a separate entity from the city. But I don't know that would prohibit it. I just don't. I think it could be done. I'd have to check on it.
Yeah, I don't see any reason it couldn't. And then if you need help with that website, let me know too.
Well,
They have technology people.
Well, I'm telling you, my stepdaughter,
I know I'm not going to do it, but
I can't do it, but
Okay.
she could do
So-
anything.
Denise, I do have one going backwards,
Yeah.
and I apologize. With the sign, the banners, we may have to check with the state or the county and see, probably the state, if they would allow us to put advertising on the poles, since it's on the state.
Well, the other municipalities are in the, I think, didn't you say the Lincoln Park was one that was in the images
Are
that
they
they had?
doing, but are they doing advertising for, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Yeah, I did a little investigating on that, and according to my research, MDOT has rules about things that can go over the road, but that doesn't mean they don't have things about on the road, on the sides of the road. So
Okay.
I'm really right in the throes of researching that just to make sure.
Okay.
And I think there's a difference between Ford and Middlebelt, because one's state, Ford's
one state, one's county.
So that is on the radar for that whole
Okay.
situation anyway.
Okay. All right, my next item was, after hearing that Taco John's pulled out, maybe it's a time we can revive the park project that we were looking at before, and looking into whether or not we can maybe acquire that property to expand what we had for a park project. So I'd really be interested in seeing what we could do about that, and if we can bring that project back to the table, and what we would have to do in order to acquire the property. And Next, I heard that the Mazzoni building deal has kind of fallen through. Like, it's-
And working to make sure whoever purchases it will renovate instead of tear down. So, as far as I know, nothing's happening.
okay,
That's where that's at.
okay. When things like that happen, can you send an email
Sure.
to communicate that, please?
Is there a restriction on that to tear down though?
There's no historic
Not yet, no.
monument or anything like that right now, but I think it was being pursued or is being pursued.
By whom?
I had a conversation with the mayor about it.
There's been talk about it probably for a little while now because it's been so long. And if you look even up on the stone, it says Garden City Municipal Building. You can still read it. So it's been there a long time. I don't know all the steps to make it historical, to get that certification. So I know there has been talk about it by different people at different times. And as far as I know, nobody's done anything with it yet.
But if somebody were to purchase it now and knock it down, they can't, there's no limitation on that.
No, not that I know of, other than whatever Mazzoni would, you
On a
know.
deed restriction?
If there was a limitation, it would have to be done before the purchase.
Right,
It could have been done after.
unless it's deed restricted. Yeah.
And I will, now that you were talking about communications and emails and that, you have to be careful with that also because we are a board that votes on a lot of stuff. So if you ever send out an email or text, emails would have to be a blind copy because if you get say you four were communicating about whatever and it happens to be something that we might be discussing for a vote at some time, that would be in violation of the Open Meetings Act. That would be considered a meeting because there are four of you. So the only caution I would say is texts are probably bad. Emails would probably just blind copy if you're going to send something out to everybody. And that way we avoid discussing whatever.
No violations.
Right.
Okay. Good point. Next item that I had is that there is a webinar by the Michigan Downtown Association, I think is what it's called, the MDA. I'd like to register for that. And I think it's like a series of 10 different, seminar items to go through. Once you register, you get a link and it could be shared with everyone on the board. So it'll help educate us as a board here. And I would like to register for that. And I think it's only like $65 or something as a non-member. But I also, one of the other items I had is what memberships do we hold? Right? So like with the MDA, with the Main Street America, any of those, if we have memberships and, to further utilize those. Because there is a conference, where do I have that? So they have an MDA conference in November that's being held in Birmingham. I think the first item is like on Wednesday night. They have a meeting at the Townsend Hotel where they take a trolley to Berkeley. They do a little walk of their downtown, I think, and then the conference is on Thursday and Friday. And you have the option of registering for one day or both. And then I think there's a little additional fee if you decide to do the tour in Berkeley on Wednesday night in November. So I'd like to look into maybe attending that. I don't know if my work schedule will accommodate it, but, I think that would be a good item to do. And then there's also a Main Street America conference that's being held in May of 2024 in Alabama. So that's something I might be interested in trying to attend as well.
Main Street America.
Correct. Yes. Then, what did I have? for the Public Act 57, there's also an item there that we're supposed to be holding semi-annual informational meetings, and I don't know if we've done those at this point. So if we haven't, we need to get those scheduled
Yeah.
so that we can be in compliance.
Yeah, I got a PowerPoint right here, just about ready to go. I was gonna do that in front of a council meeting. So all I have to do is finish that and then report to Mr. Miller that we want to put it on the agenda. And I think you're 2 weeks out from a meeting.
Correct.
So is that done through a council meeting and not,
It can
you know? Okay,
It can be. Any, as I understand it, any platform that gives the information out to the general public.
okay,
So, because these are televised.
right?
I mean, we could probably do it here as well because it is televised, but I think council, a presentation for council, because, you know, it's good for council, and I think more people probably watch the council meeting, so get out there.
I think we're getting some traction, though.
In the past, they've been done, they can be as simple as a Zoom as well. You can do like a Zoom link and have people like join a Zoom and do your presentation that way as well.
Okay,
But I think it's better for informational, because you get to tell them all about, you know, who, what, where, when, how, and why, basically.
okay.
Ever since you took over as a chair, our Nielsen ratings went through the roof. Everybody's watching the DDA.
Sure. And we talked about the other day, John, the DDA sponsorship of the parade. And you said we're on a 2-year contract with that. But we'll be addressing that, I'm sure, after this year's parade for
That's right.
going forward, right?
Yeah, we'll be, this will be the second year that we're donating $9,000 to the parade, and then it'll come back in front of us from the coalition that puts that on to request
Okay.
moving forward.
Okay. And the last item I have is I listened to a podcast the other day it was actually someone who we interviewed for, you know, the director position previously. And one thing that he said that I just found was a great statement is like, if you have a strong downtown, you have a strong city. And I think we're pushing forward for that, right? So I'm looking forward to, you know, having a strong downtown so that we can make our city stronger.
Good quote.
One more thing, I just, looking over, I see the little white book you have, that I don't think your folder, the
Oh,
binder,
the binder, yes.
that I know I didn't get, I don't know if we were supposed to get it as we came on DDA board.
Correct.
It's got all our charter, bylaws, all that stuff in it.
Lori, you got this, right?
I did.
Okay. Mike, did
Okay.
you get one of these? Okay.
I don't have it.
You didn't either?
Another task for you, John.
So you might want to,
You-
I don't know that Alex
Randy, you
got one.
probably
If
have
Mike
one.
didn't, I doubt Alex did, so
So
probably 1,
there's
2, 3.
3 of us that don't need it, but I imagine the rest of the board members do.
So how many? Let me
I
help
have
you.
one
That would be
I have
5.
one for the newest guy,
Oh, okay.
but I didn't realize that you guys didn't get those, so I'll take care of you.
Okay. So with that, unless anyone has anything else, I think we can call that a meeting. Okay. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I motion.
Do we have support?
I support, we all support.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?